favourites. He has been a regular in the Polish Championship. He has been one who's shown well here in the past. Matthew Clark there. Matthew Clark is another debutant. He was a Kart Sport regular. Very on the quiet driver, I think, is Clark there, because he's certainly going to be showing us something. And from when I was talking to him yesterday in the practice, he was pretty confident. Yes, he knows he's making his debut. Yes, he knows it's going to be very hard. But well, you never know. We'll see what Clark can pull through. He was actually the Kart Sport O Plate winner last year. So sorry, in 2017. So really, he has something to put his name to. Patrick Neroda. What can we say about Patrick Neroda? Well, Neroda there's. Gosh, he was 8th last year in the BRKC. Another visiting driver, another Polish driver, and he's going to be one of the favourites to race. Slavik Piskors, we've seen him many times, we've seen him win. Former Speedway driver, but since the last 5 or 6 years now, been turning his hand to karting, switching to that, and he has been a semi-finalist in the BRKC. So the times are in now, and Patrick Neroda is on the pole position. Second place is Dennis Hurler. Dennis Hurler, the second in the World Championship last year. Stephen King, that's an amazing performance there by Stephen King. Yes, we know he's good. He was third in the BRKC O Plate in 2018, and also has been a regular in the Club 100, so he knows his way around the car. But third place is particularly spectacular there. Mariusz Nowicki there. And Marcel Holenka, regular, we've seen many times. Tobias Lauber, we've not really seen Lauber before. He's another German driver, and he was 7th in the world last year. So Tobias Lauber is really one of the fancied runners. He's there in 6th place. Slavik Piskors is 7th. Matt West there is in 8th. Matt Clark, I was talking about, there is in 9th. And Tim Dawson there rounds them out in 10th place. So Patrick Neroda will lead the way from the second in the World Championship, Dennis Hurler, and the very spectacular there, Stephen King. So they're bringing it round to the start. What's going to happen in this race? There is Patrick Neroda. We've seen him many times. He knows exactly what to do. Coming around there with Dennis Hurler in second place. They're taking the start. The start is good. So across the line there, they've been given the go effectively. So it is Neroda with the lead there from Dennis Hurler, and there's been a change. It looks like, well, quite a lot of change. Somebody's lost a whole chunk of places and continues to lose as they come off the snail section now. I'll identify that driver. It's the white helmet. It could be Stephen King. I fear it's Stephen King, but we'll see what happens, what the numbers are when we come down. There's certainly a bit of a gap there because of that sort of problem, if you like, but we'll see what's happening. The 9 is in, no, it is Stephen King who maintains third place. That's great news for him. So Stephen King maintains third place. They cross the line. It's Nowicki. Mariusz Nowicki has dropped all the way down to last place. He's come in the pits. He's been in he's not allowed to stop on the opening lap, and he obviously was in a bit of a dust up there. He did lose a lot of places. Obviously freaked him a little bit. He decided to pit himself away from the problem, but he's come in too early. We'll see if the organisers give him a penalty for that, but it's not looking good there for Mariusz Nowicki. We'll stay on top of the situation and let you know what happens. So very, very early pit stop there. So Patrick Neroda continues to lead. In the pits there, Slavik Piskors. Another early pit stop, but at least he's able to do it. Slavik Piskors coming in. He's jumping up and down in the car there, trying to get some traction. He comes out just behind Nowicki. Nowicki has come out in front of him, but that may change if a penalty is awarded to Nowicki. So Patrick Neroda leading the way. One of the finest drivers in Poland at the moment, but he's been chased down by Dennis Hurler, the gem. Now in the pits, the 14, that is who we got. That's Tobias Lauber. Tobias Lauber, the German. He was a star in the World Championship last year, visiting UK. 21 is in the pits. That's Tim Dawson. Tim Dawson is in the pits, making his debut this year as well. Tim Dawson resumes. Tim Dawson down into last place, but Lauber, by the looks of it, has got ahead of Piskors. Yes, Piskors is behind Lauber there, so Tobias Lauber has managed to come out of the pits ahead of Piskors there. We'll see if Lauber can put the lap times together. We've not seen before. There's another one in the pits. I'll try and identify it. It is the 15. The 15, of course, is Matt Clark. Matt Clark, I was talking about him. We'll see what he can do. He's in the same team as Greg Smith. So Greg Smith, who we saw in the first heat race of the day, will be sort of cheering him on. He'll be keen to see a a clean stop there from the BRKC debutant. So Patrick Naroda in the lead, followed by Dennis Hurler, second in the World Championship last year. The World Championship, of course, for those who are maybe not aware, follows a similar format to this. All the major indoor championships follow a similar one-event format. Of course, though, the World Championship being a bit bigger has 200 drivers in it instead of the 100 say we have here. So it takes a week to work through the various heat races and into the semi-finals and final on the weekend. Having raced in the World Championship twice myself, I can attest the fact it is a very, very difficult event. But with the same drivers competing generally in the national championships as well as the world, it's all the same people you're going to be up against. So this is of the same standard, the British Championship here, as will the Dutch and the Belgian and the Polish and the German Championships. They'll all have the same regulars, one of which is Patrick Naroda, another of which is Dennis Hurler, who we're seeing run first and second as we speak. Patrick Naroda being shadowed there by Dennis Hurler. Patrick Naroda, we know him well. Dennis Hurler, we know him not so well, but he is a very strong competitor, second in the world, as I said, and he's taking the fight to the Polish driver. Now, Dennis Hurler is going to be getting into the idea soon of maybe that early pit stop, or maybe stay with the road and try and pull that gap from the amazing Stephen King. Now, Stephen King is really staying with him. He's got the length of the backstretch. He can just about see Dennis Hurler if he looks far enough ahead. Patrick Naroda, Dennis Hurler is what we're looking at now. So, the Polish driver, the German driver, and then in third place, they cross the line, over the line there. There's Stephen King, he's in third. The top Brit in this race with Marcel Holling. Marcel Holling is behind him, and Holling, of course, is the Dutch driver there. International entry. We've got a Polish driver in first, from a German in second, a Brit third, and a Dutchman in fourth. So down the backstretch, there's Patrick Naroda. Patrick Naroda, many times race winner over the various events he contests. He's another one who contests a variety of the national championships. Big prize money on offer there. And Patrick Naroda, one of those with the potential to scoop it all up. Huge potential there in second place, though, with Dennis Hurler. And there's Stephen King in third. He's showing great potential too. He's still got Hurler in his sights as they come down the backstretch. This is the best chance he gets to have a look at Hurler. There he is. You could just see the top of Stephen King's helmet coming into view there. Patrick Naroda leading the way from Poland, from the German, Dennis Hurler, then Stephen King, and then Holling. Now that's a really good perspective there. You can see the actual gaps. In terms of lap times, well, it's got to be said, it looks like, first at the moment, could well be Novitsky, who we saw with a very, very early pit stop. He's down the order, but he's looking very fast indeed. We'll have to keep tabs on him. Now, there's Stephen King. We're looking at Stephen King, the top Brit. He runs a little bit wide there, but he seems to have maintained speed and maintained pace, and more importantly, maintained the gap. So, 2.0, he has lost 2/3 of a second. Maybe that was all lost at that corner at the end of the straight, because he managed to keep a bit of a watching eye there on the battle for the lead. If he can keep third, that'll be great. If he can actually try and make inroads on those two leaders, that'll be even better. So, they're the two leaders now. Patrick Naroda from Dennis Hurler. Naroda. Really perfect driving. Same from Hurler. At this level, you have to be perfect. It's not enough to be fast. You've got to be perfect. Every lap has to be an absolute spot on lap. The least little error from Patrick Naroda, the least little slide, the least little loss of momentum and power from Naroda, the leader, is going to see Dennis Hurler all over him. And Dennis Hurler will mean to take the lead any moment he can. He's going to be looking for any little opportunity. Yes, there's a couple of karts between them now, but don't be fooled into thinking that Hurler is not thinking of taking the lead. The least little error from Patrick Naroda there, the race leader, will be punished by the German behind him. So he's right on his tail into the snail section. This is an overtaking opportunity. You see Hurler closing in a little bit. He's not able to pass there, not able to be quite close up. He's not even really looking possibly to make a move, unless, of course, there was an error by Naroda, which those who've watched Naroda over the years will know there won't be an error. There will not be an error from that pole in the lead. Hurler, a little bit of a glance over his shoulder. That was a good opportunity there to look back and see Stephen King, who's in third place. maybe Hurler considering what sort of gap he might have and what sort of race he's going to be dealing with if he were to start pitting soon. He's not able to pass Neroda by the looks of things. Neroda's sort of got him covered. They're in the back markers now. They're passing, making a pass on there on looks like Tim Dawson. Yes, they are. Hurler a little wave there of thanks. He knows that Tim Dawson was well aware that the battle for the lead was coming through. Wasn't going to get in their way, and certainly didn't cost him, Hurler, any time at all. So, as we look at this race, down in the pits there, if we go to Kyle Power, Kyle, down in the pits, how are you reading this? We've the front runners have not been in at all yet. Dennis Hurler is starting to drop a little bit back. Do you expect to see him in your experience?
If I was Dennis Hurler, I'd be looking to pit soon. He's dropped a tiny bit back away from Neroda, so hopefully Neroda doesn't notice that he pits. That would be the name of the game, so he can try and nail his outlap, bang in a couple of quick laps and then jump him. Apart from that, Stephen King is still keeping him fairly honest. He's only a couple of seconds down in third. He's a local guy, so he's been here quite a lot, but Neroda is just waiting for Holler to pit, and then he'll just react the next lap. So we're just waiting for the first of them to pull the pin, really.
Yes, it's been an incredible performance by Stephen King, hasn't it, down there, Carl? I mean, he's looking good from up here. Down there, trackside, you must even have a better view of how well he's doing. He's certainly keeping just about a watching brief on those leaders, just.
Yes, he's keeping just thing. He's looking particularly good through this last section here. He's obviously done many laps around here, so he's very calm. I lose sight of him as they go into the snail section, but he's definitely not dropping back at the rate that maybe you'd expect from some of the other locals here. Like, he's doing an absolutely stellar job, and he's pulling away from fourth place as well, so he's pretty comfortable. So I guess what he's going to do is just see what the leaders do and react to them. He's far enough behind that he could follow one of them into the pits and not be held up. So that's what I'd do if I was him.
Yeah, it's probably the fair thing to say at the moment, that third place is what he's going to be after in this race, realistically. And so he's going to have to actually use the leaders, maybe looking at the end of straight. They're probably just about in view if he was looking that far ahead on the end of straight. Yes, he can look across the track, but the leaders will be what keeps him, following those leaders and trying to keep pace with them, will be what keeps him away from fourth place, Marcel Hollink. We know Hollink's very good. You've raced against him yourself in the BRKC Cup. He's always tough.
It's very tough. It's very hard to overtake. I had an extremely tough battle with him a couple of years ago, and yeah, he is almost, I found it almost impossible to overtake him. He was just hugging the barriers everywhere. So Stephen does not want to relinquish that place, but the leaders are dragging them on. Another thing to note is Slavek Piskors. He pitted on lap 3, I believe, very early. He was being held up, and he's been circulating quite fast on his own. So there haven't been too many pitters so far. So when the midfield starts to pit, it's going to be interesting to see where Slavek comes out in it all. I think he's going to jump a couple of them. His pace is looking strong.
Yeah, that's right there, Carl, because we have, of course, seen Slavek Piskors win BRKC heat races, so we know he's tough enough, he's fast enough, he's competitive enough to win. He could well be a little bit of a dark horse and may actually leapfrog people who, in their own battle, although everyone's trying to look across and see what's what, he may actually go pretty much unnoticed until those final laps, especially if a lot of the top half of the race, so that would be Neroda, Huller, King, down to Hollink and Matt West, actually leave it really late to make a pit stop. They may find when they come out of the pits, Slavek Piskors is right there.
Indeed, they could be in with a bit of a nasty surprise. Slavek has gone full stealth mode. We have another pitter, that is number 8. That is number 18 or number 8? I think.
Yeah, Matt West.
Matt West. Matt West is in. He comes out and he's going to come out just ahead of Slavek. So Slavek's mission has not succeeded in jumping Matt West. So that's been a very strong middle part of the race for Matt West there to battle off Slavek. He's been
absolutely, but in the snail section, unseen by you, Carl, Slavek has made a huge move on Matt West. In fact, he's got him. He's got him. He's on the inside. He's on the inside as they enter the long corner towards the back stretch, and he's done it. Slavek Piskors has done it. There he is in the purple-coloured overalls with the yellow helmet. He's fighting off Matt West, but Slavek Piskors has done it. So incredibly, although it didn't look that way coming out the pits, Slavek's strategy has worked, and he is the thorn in the side as we predicted, Carl, and he's crossed the line now. He'll have come past you ahead of Matt West there. Carl, that's incredible by Slavek Piskors, just as you actually mentioned him earlier. He's doing exactly that.
Superb, right on cue. He never lets us down, does Slavic. But yeah, he had to seize the opportunity. Matt West has come out of the pits. He might not be aware how close Slavic is, and Slavic's just pouncing him. But now going down into the hairpin, Matt West is all over him like a cheap suit. So Slavic's got his work cut out now to try to hold him back. Matt West is looking racy.
Oh, racy indeed. They were side by side down that back stretch there, and Matt West has definitely not given up on this. He's really ready to try and turn up to ground. They're entering the snail section. This is a tight part, good overtaking move, but Slavic's got it covered. Slavic Piskor's there on screen in the predominantly purple overalls with Matt West in the red. And as you can see, it is very tight between these two. They are battling now for 7th place, but that's going to get higher, possibly again, side by side down the backstretch. Slavic Piskor's, he's using that 6th sense of the indoor karter to, he knows that Matt West is there, and he knows he's going to have to keep that inside covered. Both of these drivers, of course, have made a pit stop, so it's going to be this to the finish. Now, Kyle, of course, just bringing you back in, this is bad news for anyone in front of them who's may make a pit stop, because if they come out anywhere near these two, they're going to have two serious ones, and they're in the pits.
And we have Stephen King in the pits. It was a good first stop. He's going for his second stop. It goes off nice and smooth. Green light, yes, he's out. So he's going to come out just ahead of number 14, which is Tobias Laub. No, Laub jumps him. Laub has jumped him. I'm not sure Laub was pitted yet, though. So just going back to the Slavic Piskor's and Matt West battle, Slavic's now having to go defensive, so that's actually going to hurt his lap time. So this might actually halt his progress up the field.
Absolutely, and Tobias Laub, that was going to be fairly critical, because Tobias Laub, passing Stephen King there, Tobias Laub Lauber is in 7th in the world last year. You know, he's up to 5th place now, but he was 7th in the World Championship final last year. So incredible performance there by the German, and he's showing us, he's not someone we've seen here before, but he's showing us why he was 7th in the world. Sterling performance there. Now his next target is, of course, Mariusz Nowicki, but we have number 17. It's Dennis Holler, 2nd place. Dennis Holler is pitted, so they were just involved with some back markers. He's tried to pull the pin. Expect to see Patrick Nioda in this lap. Well, that could be very interesting, because we're getting near towards the end of the race.
Oh no, we've got a disaster in the pits. That is Marcel Hollink. The kart stalled in the pits, and that has really hurt him. So that's unfortunate. I think he can still come out in 4th, though.
An absolute disaster there for Marcel Hollink. The kart stalled momentarily. We have actually seen, I think it was Johan Medart start his own kart, but in the race leader in the pits. Kyle, talk us through it.
Yep, it was a good first stop. He's just doing his second stop. He comes out. This is going to be, it's not going to be close. He's got a clear lead. He's actually extended his lead. What a fast pit stop. So he is now cruising on for a victory in his first race here in 2020.
Absolutely, I was saying earlier on that perfection is the order of the day, and perfection is what we've got from Patrick Noroda there. Patrick Noroda, the Polish driver, he has done what he needs to make a safety gap, if you like, over 2nd in the world, Dennis Hurler. Dennis Hurler currently rated 2nd in the world at indoor karting, and meanwhile, look at this on-screen battle here. It is Slavic Piskor's against, who was it? Yes, of course, Matt West. Tobias Lauber, a big beneficiary there. In the pits.
We have Norris Nowicki in the pits. Norris Nowicki in the pits. Oh, he's gone very deep into that 2nd box, and he's got a yellow light. Oh no, he'll have to come in again. That's very unfortunate for him. He was a bit too throttle happy there going into the 2nd pit box.
Nowicki, yes, and again, we say this time again, all they have to do is come in the pits, stop twice for as long as the lights are holding them. It's technically not a hard concept. However, here we are, 3 races in, and in 2 of those 3 races we've had a pit lane infringement by people who are well aware of the system and are used to racing that system. There he is, it's on screen. He's got a drive-through penalty, Mariusz Nowicki, and again side by side down the backstretch, and a bit of a rough stop.
He's in for his pit stop. He got the first one better than he did the second, and he's got it right this time. He's much more cautious. But as you know, James, there's so much pressure as you come into the pits. It's a cauldron of pressure, so it's so easy to make a silly mistake of overrunning your pit stop.
Absolutely, and when it's the likes of Mariusz Nowicki, you know that's huge pressure, because Nowicki is not somebody we would associate pit lane infringements with, but he's just trying to cut it tight. He has to cut it tight because everyone else is cutting it tight, including race leader Patrick Noroda and Slavic Piskor's, who an excellent early inspired pit stop is what's put him in position that he's in. He is, of course, gone now ahead of Nowicki. He's taken Matt West with him. That puts the Piskor's West battle into 6th place. Marcel Hollink had a bit of a rough stop, but somehow has managed to stay ahead of Piskor's. It's not me by that much. Well, it is. There's Hollink just going down the backstretch. And here comes Biscours just sort of off screen. So there's Holling we're looking at now, the 18th. Marcel Holling, he had a stalled engine in the pit stop. It was fired up again. He has managed to continue in 5th place, which is pretty much where he's at. The interesting one at the moment is Tobias Lauber. He's come into 3rd place. He's behind his compatriot, Dennis Hurler. Oh, and leaving the pits, it looks like Tim Dawson there, and has now gone a lap down. I think it was that Stephen King? No, Patrick. No, not Patrick Neroda. Let's have a look at Neroda. We're looking at Neroda on screen anyway, and he's in the Snell section. Okay, so not many laps to go now. Kyle, down to you again. I'm thinking that's probably everyone who's been in the pits.
Yes, I think that is everyone, and we just had looked like a good move for position. It was Marius Navicki just managed to get Matthew West there, and now is closing in fast on Slavik Biscours. So he's obviously seeing red now after his mistake, and he's trying to make up for it. But it looked like a very good move he put on him in the hairpin.
Absolutely, Navicki is on an absolute mission. There he is, just going out of view there. They're going to be on the backstretch now. Slavik Biscours will be very surprised when he's attacked by Navicki. He's expecting Matt West, but he's got Marius Navicki, and Navicki is all over the back of Biscours in ways that West was, but Navicki is actually looking at taking the position here. He's absolutely pushing him across the line. Look at this, they're entering the Snell section. There's Biscours on screen, there's Navicki, and West has been bundled back a little bit. Navicki, he can't make a move on the inside because Biscours has it covered. Slavik Biscours is expecting to be defending from West. He'll be feeling that bump for a little bit on the tail of his kart, and I think if Navicki makes a bit of an appearance, that'll catch Biscours by surprise. He's expecting Matt West, but he's getting Marius Navicki.
Slavik almost had a double take when he saw him. He was like, what are you doing there? He was expecting to see Matthew West, and saw Navicki. He's crept up on him completely. I think Slavik's heartbeat's probably gone up a few beats per minute.
Absolutely, Slavik's heart has definitely gone up a few beats, and certainly is the pace there has actually slowed down a fraction by about half a second for those guys there. They're of course racing. We're talking about the battle of 6, 7, 8. We're looking at it on screen. There's Navicki trying to work on the purple suited Slavik Biscours, and now West is back in view. Look at this, Kyle, as they come past you, they're nose to tail.
Absolute nose to tail. Navicki is pushing Biscours along, and Matthew West is a train.
Oh, the check is coming out for the race winner. In the race winners, Patrick Neroda. Patrick Neroda takes it from Dennis Hurler. Tobias Lauber has come steaming through into 3rd place. There he is crossing the line. 4th place, Stephen King, still a great result there. Marcel Holling from that stalled engine has salvaged 5th place. He's crossing the line now. But look at this, it's the battle we've been watching for the most of the race here. It's still Slavik Biscours. It's still Slavik Biscours, the former Speedway rider and BRKC heat winner. He's going to take 6th place ahead of Marius Navicki and Matt West, with Clark, and then Tim Dawson already a lap down has completed it. Kyle, an incredible race there over 6th place, an epic result by Patrick Neroda, ran that one to perfection.
That was absolutely perfection. He was just waiting for Holler behind him just to pull the pin, and then he just reacted. So that was a perfectly executed race win there. I'm just going to try to intercept them. I'll let them get weighed first. In fact, I'm going to intercept them before they get weighed.
Yes, they're all still coming into the pits. We're looking on screen there as Kyle Power will go down to you now, and obviously they're getting weighed. Do your stuff.
Yep, I'm just going to let them get weighed.
Yeah, can you get Slavik as well, Carl?
Yep. Where is he? He's bright. Oh, there he is. He's bright pink. How can I miss him?
So we're going down to Kyle Power in the pits in a moment, and he's going to have some very interesting interviews for us, I'm sure.
Hi, so, yeah. Hi, so I'm down here in the pits with Slavik Biscours. So Slavik, that looked like you pitted very early to try to go into stealth mode, to try to jump some people. It looked like it worked out, and then involved in a very, very hard battle at the end with Matthew West and then Marius Navicki. What?
Well, my team told me to pit, so I trust them completely. So. And I've seen on the first lap Marius was pitting, which is illegal. So I knew he's gonna be pitting again, or even disqualified or something like that. But yeah, and I was really inconsistent. And when I saw that Matthew coming in front of me from the pits. I was so furious on myself. And yeah, but I managed to overtake him, and I had to defend. Yeah, it was hard work, actually. And Marius caught us on the end, but yeah.
Woo!
In the beginning looks like an easy race. I'm alone on the track, but yeah, at the end of this was hard work. Well, but yeah, I like it. I qualified really bad, so from 7 to 6, I like it. Yeah.
Well done, Slavik. Well, mate. Cool. So I'm here with the race winner, Patrick Neuroda. Very good controlled race there. Were you just waiting for Holler to pit behind you before you then reacted?
Yeah, I know that if Dennis came here, I have to came one lap before him, and I know that he got very fast kart, so I have to make very fast pit stop. And
very nice controlled win. Did you feel under pressure at all during that race, or were you very calm and had it under control?
I have to be very calm, but Dennis is vice champion of world, so there was a little bit stressed.
I bet. Very well done to yourself. I have a medal for you here for your effort. Well done, mate. Brilliant. Well done. Cool. So that looks very good. The drivers are in the karts now. I see we have our resident flying frog, self-proclaimed. Arno Tinne is out in this one. And a few other drivers. Oh, I think we've got Russell Endine as well, possibly. This is looking, and a Ruben Bouters, of course. How can I forget him? So this is looking like a very strong heat.